channel. It's Rosalie Reads here, and today I thought I'd do a second part to the book haul that I just posted. I did end up going to the hospice thrift store that is right across the street, and they did have some good books that I've seen. So we're just going to go ahead and get started with that. First book was there, which, because I was into the Twilight series when I was younger, I saw The Host by Stephanie Meyer, and I decided, hey, let's try this book out. I haven't read the book, I haven't seen the movie, so I just thought, we'll try this out. So, that is definitely on the list. From what I know, it's about this girl that, has, her mind taken over by, enemies, and they become hosts for the invaders, so basically, their bodies stay intact, but whoever takes their body over can see through within them and takes their minds over. She is captured, and she starts to feel emotions that she didn't know she was going to be able to feel. So she has to figure that out. I'm not sure what else goes on in that book, but I'm very excited, I think, to read it, because currently right now I'm reading, I'm re-going through the Twilight series and reading them, and I'm also reading Pack Up the Moon by Kristen Higgins, so that seems like it'd be fun. I also have The Paper Palace by Miranda Cowley Heller. I don't know much about this. I just saw it. I think it was a Book of the Month book, and that's why I got it. But it also says right here, Book Club Exclusive Edition, Barnes & Nobles. So that's also right there. I'm going to go ahead and read the description. Before anyone else is awake on a perfect August morning, Elle Bishop heads out for a swim in the freshwater pond below the Paper Palace, the gently decaying set of cabins in the backwoods of Cape Cod where her family has spent every summer for generations. As she passes the house, Elle glances through the screen porch at the unclear table from the dinner the previous evening. Empty wine glasses, candle wax on the tablecloth, echoes of laughter of family and friends. Then she dives beneath the surface of the pond and recalls what else happened last night. The secret passionate encounter with her childhood sewing-mate out behind the house as Elle's husband and mother chatted to the guests inside. So begins a story that unfolds over 24 hours and across 50 years as decades of family legacies, love, lies, secrets, and one unspeakable incident from her childhood lead Elle to the precipice of a life-changing decision. Over the course of this day, Elle will have to decide between the world she has made with her much-beloved husband, Peter, and the life she'd always imagined would be hers with her. So, that's where it stops. I also have another Book of the Month book that was there. It is The Family by Naomi Krupski. And it's, I think, a war story. Two daughters, two families, one an inescapable fate. Sophia Colicchio is a free spirit, loud and untamed. Antonia Russo is thoughtful, ever observing the world around her. Best friends since birth, they share everything from the brick wall that divides their apartments to the shadow cast by their father's unspoken community. The family. Sunday dinners gather them to feast, discuss business, and renew the intoxicating bond born of blood and love. But the disappearance of Antonia's father drives a whisper-thin edge between the girls as they grow into women, wives, mothers, and leaders. Their hearts expand in tandem with Red Hook and Brooklyn around them, even as they push against society's expectations and fight to preserve their complex but life-sustaining friendship. One fateful night, their loyalty to each other and the family will be tested. Only one of them can pull the trigger before it's too late. So, I was probably wrong about this being a war story. It was probably another book I was thinking of. But yes, this one did sound interesting, and that's why I got it. But I also got it because it was a Book of the Month book at one point. I think a few months ago, so I decided to try it out. We've got two more hardcovers, and then we'll be moving on to the new paperbacks I've got. Something Wild by Hannah Halperin. Again, don't know much about it. I think it was a Book of the Month book. I was not sure. A stirring novel about the love and contradictions of sisterhood, the intoxicating desires of adolescence, and the traumas that trap mothers and daughters in cycles of violence. One weekend, sisters Tanya and Nessa Bloom pause their respective adult lives and travel to the Boston suburbs to help their mother pack up and move out of their childhood home. For the first time since they were teenagers sharing a bunk bed over a decade ago, they find themselves in the place where long-kept secrets were born, where jealousy, comfort, anger, forgiveness, and repulsion coexist with the fiercest love and loyalty. What they don't expect is for the visit to expose a new horrifying truth. Their mother, Lorraine, is in a violent relationship. As Tanya encourages Lorraine to get a restraining order, Nessa struggles to reconcile her fondness for their stepfather with his capacity for brutality. Their different responses to the abuse bring up the sisters' shared secret. A traumatic, unspoken experience from their adolescence has shaped their lives, their sense of selves, and their relationship with each other and the men in their lives. In the midst of this family crisis, they have no choice but to reckon with the past and face each other in the present, in the hope that there is a way out of the violence so deeply ingrained in the Bloom family. Told in alternating perspectives that deftly interweave past and present, Something Wild is a magnetic, unflinching portrait of the bond between sisters, as well as a psychologically acute exploration of the legacy of divorce, the ways trauma can reverberate over generations, and how it might be possible to overcome the past. So I got that one because it was kind of like, it deals with a lot of like trauma involving stuff. I read that in the cover, but I didn't remember most of the blurb. So I also got another one that was very popular maybe a couple months ago, Eleanor Park. I don't know much about it, actually. I tend to not look at summaries when I get them. I just grab them and I bring them home. So I'm pretty sure this is a romance. Eleanor, red hair, wrong clothes, standing beside him until he turns his head, lying beside him until he wakes up, making everyone else seem drabber and flatter and never good enough. Eleanor. Park. He knows she'll love his song before he plays it for her. He laughs at her jokes before she even gets to the punchline. There's a place on his chest just below his throat that makes her want to keep promises. Park. Set over the course of one school year, this is the story of two star-crossed 16-year-olds smart enough to know that first love almost never lasts, but brave and desperate enough to try. And then it says, two misfits, one extraordinary love. I remember this distinctly when I lived in North Carolina, this being in the library shelf for the teenager section. So it's probably not going to include, like, some of the stuff I read personally. So it's probably going to be very new to me. I don't typically read, like, teenager stuff the way that I probably should, but I was excited to pick this up because I know a lot of people were talking about it, and I tend to gravitate towards the more popular things, I think. So yeah. I got another Colleen Hoover book also at the hospice thrift shop, Ugly Love, which I've been looking at this for forever, and I was trying to find it, like, in person, so I wouldn't have to pay for, like, shipping and all that. I did find it. She is a little bit used, but you know what? It's okay. It's Colleen Hoover. We will give her love that she has already felt. We'll give her extra love. I know this is definitely the Tate Collins and Miles Archer persons. By Colleen Hoover. I don't know much. I just know that I reread November 9th, like, a few days ago, I think, maybe a week ago, and I noticed the characters from here were in that, so I'm probably going to read this sometime soon before I read the rest of Colleen Hoover stuff, so that way I could, like, know that these bunch of characters, too. It's not exactly love at first sight for Tate Collins when she meets the tormented, secretive Miles Archer. They wouldn't even go so far as to consider themselves friends. The only thing Tate and Miles have in common is a mutual physical attraction that cannot be denied. Once their desires are out in the open, they realize they might have stumbled on the perfect notions arrangement. He isn't looking for love, and she doesn't have time for it, so that leaves just the sex. When they could be surprisingly satisfying as long as Tate could stick to the two rules Miles has set for her. Never ask about the past, don't expect the future. They think they can handle it, but everything is different when real emotions start to change the equation. Hearts get infiltrated, promises get broken, rules get shattered, and love gets ugly. Which I think that in itself is a good attention grabber right there. So yeah, I was very excited to read this one. I also think the cover is very pretty too. I've heard a lot of things about it. Some negative stuff, some good stuff. I have heard that the relationship is toxic, so I'm kind of intrigued, I'd say. Okay, next. I did get The Zookeepers Wife by Diane Ackerman. I know this one is definitely a war story. It says it right there. But I know this is kind of like a classic. I know little about it, and I know it's a movie now. So I wanted to try. After the zoo was bombed, Polish zookeepers Jan and Antonia Zabinski managed to save over 300 people from the Nazis by hiding refugees in the empty animal cages, with animal names for these guests and human names for the animals. It's no wonder that the zoo's codename became the House Under Crazy Star. Best-selling naturalist and acclaimed storyteller Diane Ackerman combines extensive research and an excellent writing style to recreate this fascinating, forgotten true life story. sharing, oh, I said the name wrong, Antonina's life as a zookeeper's wife while examining the disturbing obsessions at the core of Nazism. I'm normally very intrigued with stuff dealing with the Holocaust, so that's why I probably got this one, because I saw Nazis in here somewhere. I'm not normally a history person, but for some reason I'm very intrigued when it comes to the Holocaust and Hitler and that time frame. Not that I'm big fans of what happened with there, because everything that happened is kind of like mind-blowing and really, really fucked up. But that part in history is really like interesting to me. And like when I get into like a historical thing, I just research it and research it and research it until there's like no tomorrow. So, hi Annie. Yeah. Okay. I'll get to those two in a minute. Next I got 50 Shades Darker and 50 Shades Freed from the hospice thrift shop. I still need to get the first book, so I could start reading these. I have seen the movies already, but I wanted to read the books to see, like, the difference. I know before I watched the movies, I tried to pick up the books, and it felt like a 5th grader's writing, at least in the beginning, on 50 Shades of Grey. I don't have it paperback, but I do have the last two, so I wanted to try that. And I'm not going to get into that story right now because it's kind of like very BDSM and definitely not for children's eyes. Next book I got Whiteacre by Philippa Gregory, which is also part of the series. I only got the first book. I didn't see the other 2 books. So I want to say this is also historical. Yeah, this does say the author holds a PhD in 18th century literature. So this is probably historically accurate. Beatrice Lacey, strong-minded as she is beautiful, refuses to conform to the social customs of her time. Determined to lose her family name and beloved Whiteacre estate once she is wed, Beatrice will use any means necessary to protect her ancestral heritage. Seduction, betrayal, even murder, Beatrice's passion is without apology or conscience. She is a Lacey of Whiteacre. Her father warns him whatever she does, however she behaves, will always be fitting. Yet even as Beatrice's scheming seems about to yield her dream, she is haunted by the one person who knows the extent of her plans and her capacity for evil. Set in Georgian England, Whiteacre is an intensely gripping, rich in texture and full of cover and authenticity. It is a saga as irresistible as its singular magic as its heroine. Okay, so there's that. In my last book haul, I got The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. I did see another copy of it that wasn't as torn up as the copy I got from the last Goodwill. So here was the original copy I got, and here's the new copy. This copy just has the dog on it, upside down, kind of like referencing the dead. This one also references the dead, but there's a pitchfork in the dog's body, so... But yeah, I'm happy I got the 2 copies, because I wanted to read this copy because like it had like it was the cover that I knew about. It was the cover that I was used to, but then I saw this one and I was like, oh wait, there's a different cover, so I got it. The last book that I got from the hospice thrift store was Leo Tolstoy's Karenina, I'm sorry, which is also a historical acclaimed book. I got this one because I wanted to read War and Peace, I think, by Leo Tolstoy. I think that was the name of it. But it's basically about Leo Tolstoy showing like his troubling conviction that at his moments of his most intense experience, man is closest to death. This is the double drama of Anna and Levin. Sensual, rebellious, Anna renounces respectable marriage and fine position for a passionate involvement which offers a taste of freedom and a trap for destruction. Levin, a self-doubting, idealistic young nobleman, tries to sacrifice his individuality for God, man, but instead discovers a new faith. Considered the greatest novel of the 19th century, Anna Karenina contains a nucleus of Tolstoy's program for nonviolence and abstention from worldly riches, a program based on personal interpretation of the Gospels that made him one of the world's most venerated teachers. So yes, this is historically acclaimed. I've noticed that Leo Tolstoy tends to stick with historical stuff, at least with War and Peace he did. So I was very excited to get into this one. Okay, so the next two that I'm about to bring up, I did get from Half Price Books. So I got two. I got one by Beth O'Leary and one from Sarah Adams. The one from Sarah Adams is The Cheat Sheet, which was... I will read the blurb now, because apparently I can't speak. The friend zone is not the end zone for Bree Camden, who is helplessly in love with her longtime best friend and extremely hot NFL legend, Nathan Donaldson. The only problem is that she can't admit her true feelings because he clearly sees her as a best friend with no romantic potential. But the last thing Bree wants to ruin is their relationship. But those abs... Nope, nothing but good old-fashioned, no-touching the sexiest man alive, platonic friendship for Bree. In any case, she has other things to worry about. After a car accident ended her chance of becoming a professional ballerina, Bree changed paths and now owns her own dance studio, with big dreams to expand it, but one more rent increase could mean the end of the studio entirely. Then, as usual, Nathan comes to the rescue, buying the entire building. A stubborn Bree is not happy about it and plans to rebel with maybe more than a couple tequila shots. Then her plan backfires as she spills her deepest secret to a TMZ reporter. One viral video later, the world thinks that Nathan and Bree are the perfect couple. Before they can really talk about her confession, Nathan's publicist proposes a big opportunity that could mean financial security for Bree. The catch, they have to pretend to be in love for 3 whole weeks. What will happen when Bree gives into the feeling she's been desperately hiding for so long? And could you be imagining that Nathan is actually enjoying it? Sarah Adams scores more than enough touchdowns in this exciting Friends to Lovers romantic comedy. So, obviously, it's Friends to Lovers, and it's obviously a romantic comedy, because that's what it just said. So I've heard a lot of good things. I think Larry Reed's read this. I think she liked it. It was either that or Steph Brower read it and she liked it. I don't know. Maybe they both liked it, or maybe one of them absolutely hated it. I don't know. I'm not for sure, so I will go back and look at that. And then the next, we got The No Show by Beth O'Leary. This I've seen on my recommended for some time, so when I saw it at half price, I said, okay, well, let's go ahead and go get it, right? So this one is about 3 women who seemingly have nothing in common that find they're involved with the same man in the smart new rom-com by Beth O'Leary, a best-selling author of Flatshare. Siobhan is a quick-tempered life coach with way too much on her plate. Miranda is a tree surgeon, used to being treated as just one of the guys on the job. Jane is a soft-spoken volunteer for the local charity shop with zero sense of self-worth. These 3 women are strangers who have only one thing in common. They've all been stood up on the same day, the worst day to be stood up on, Valentine's Day. And unbeknownst to them, they've all been stood up by the same man. Once they've each forgiven him for standing them up, they are all in serious danger of falling in love with a man who may not just 1 or 2 but 3 women on the go. Is there more to him than meets the eye? Where was he on Valentine's Day? And will they entangle the truths before they all get their hearts broken? So obviously this man is a dick. But I was intrigued. And I saw it. So, I had the money. I bought it. So we will uncover his secret soon. Very, 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 very much soon. But yeah, that is, I think, all of the books that I bought within the time frame. That are all new anyways. You guys have already seen the rest of my book collection, so I think I am going to end this video here. And I will see you guys sometime soon. Bye-bye!